I, 34F, ran into a close friend, let's call her Z, from college a few days ago who I had lost touch with. Z and I had been in the same program and both of our dads worked together. I took down her new number and tried to make plans to meet up, but she kept making excuses. I kind of lost it on her yesterday and asked her what her issue is. She tried to deny it at first, but after I called her out on a few other things, she told me she despises me because I betrayed her and almost cost her her life. Life as she knows it, not literally her life. When we were in college, our other friends and I caught her flirting with a guy over the phone. We came up behind her while she was talking to him and listened to the conversation. She told us after some teasing that it was her boyfriend, but that we needed to keep it to ourselves because no one knows about them and her parents are super religious and strict. I'm an only child. My mom has always been more like a best friend than a parent, and I usually tell her most things about my life. A year later, I accidentally let slip to her about Z having a boyfriend but asked her to keep it to herself. She said she will keep it to herself and I didn't think anything of it after. One day, as I was coming home from classes, I heard my mom telling my dad about Z having a boyfriend, in context of another conversation they were having, not just as gossip, though she was kind of throwing her under the bus. I told Z the next day that my mom may have told my dad so she isn't blindsided in case he says anything about it to her parents. I also apologized profusely. She was mad for a few days, but eventually said she understood. I didn't really connect it at the time, but that's when she started drifting away. When she yelled at me yesterday, she told me she didn't just drift away, she made a conscious decision to distance herself from me. She said I showed her I couldn't be trusted, that I basically put her in a situation in which she could have been forced to quit school and get married if her parents had found out about her boyfriend. Apparently it's a common occurrence in her culture. Or disowned by her family. She said she had never imagined this is how I would pay her back for her goodwill. She gave me a ride both ways for a year for free even though I lived a little out of her way. And if she knew back then what kind of a AH I was going to turn out to be, she never would have befriended me. I tried to reason with her saying it had been an honest mistake that I had apologized for back then and done what I could to make it right. I also pointed out that nothing had happened, so she doesn't really have a reason to still be mad. She said that didn't matter because I had still betrayed her trust because she had explicitly told us no one could know about it. I told her if she knew the consequences were that severe, she shouldn't have been dating someone and risking it at all, which is on her. So, MITA?
So you outed your friend, years later told her she's overreacting, and then tried to make it her fault for taking a risk by dating. Yeah, that's not how trust works. Big YTA.
It had been an honest mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. You listened in on her private phone conversation, then told someone about it after she very clearly asked you not to. YTA.
YTA? And in so many ways it's not even funny. Let's see. First you snoop on her business about a boyfriend, and that is a mild AH thing to do. Then you go and tattle to your mom about the results of your eavesdropping, fully well knowing she begged you not to. That's a major AH thing to do. When that goes tangent, your mom goes on and spread the rumor, you go for the "it's not that bad actually" route, which is also AH, as you are trying to slip away from any responsibility of actions you have made so far. To add insult to an injury, you go finally for victim blaming, which is the grand poobah AH of your story. She shouldn't have been dating someone and risking it at all, which is on her. This is exactly the excuse violent AHs have when they beat their GFs. She made me do it, she nags me all the time, she had bad attitude and so on.